the 1980s, I had flown Beech-18s a good bit, and as a young man I flew the U.S. Airmail in Beech-18s. I had a friend that had a Lockheed 12, and I met him in the 80s, and I flew his Lockheed 12 and became interested in owning a Lockheed 12. At the time I had a Cessna 195. A Lockheed showed up in Trade a Plane for sale, and the owner wanted a 195 in trade. So I called him. I flew to Brenham, Texas. I traded a beautiful Cessna 195 even for this Lockheed that had been sitting for 12 years. We made the trade, worked on the airplane about a month and a half out there in Brenham to get it airworthy, and I ferried it to my airport in Fayetteville, Georgia, Willow Pond Airport. It had been sitting for 12 years. It was full of wasps, snakes, grasshoppers, mice, spiders, and we didn't get them all out. We had some of those creatures came out of the woodwork during the flight home. Not that big a deal, but there was a few insects in there with us. Anyway, we got it home safely on a ferry permit, and the restoration began in late 1988. This door, when I got this Lockheed, was not in this airplane. It had been removed by Kerr-McGee Oil Company to add another row of seats back here. So I bought 3 derelict Lockheed 12 airframes for parts, and one of those airframes had the complete original baggage configuration, which included this baggage door. We reinstalled this baggage door and all the compartment that you see in there, and this baggage compartment holds 250 pounds. Very spacious. You could get some golf clubs in there. That was a huge job. Opens like this. That's the way it's supposed to do. When I got the airplane, it didn't work that way. It had what they call an air stair door. You opened it, it swung down and had steps on it, which was more convenient, more modern for the era when they were flying this airplane at the oil companies. They didn't want to have to fool with this ladder. So from one of my wrecked airplanes, I got this door, and we reinstalled this door to hinge this way. It was a huge job. Huge. There was also a door here that had been added, and that door was removed. New framework was made and reinstalled to put the airplane back totally to original. These are Lockheed's figures, and most people don't believe me when I tell them, but this airplane will take off at sea level at 770 feet. That's pretty incredible. And the landing speed with full flaps is 65 miles per hour. So it takes off slow, lands slow, but it cruises very nicely at over 200 miles per hour. Pretty slick machine. To clarify those figures I mentioned earlier, it's a 9,200 pound gross weight. Empty weight is 6,380. I had it right here in front of me. So that gives us a useful load of 2,820 pounds, which is very respectable for an airplane that's 71 years old. I am the current owner of this airplane, but as another Lockheed owner said one time, Kent Blankenberg out on the West Coast, he's got a beautiful Lockheed like this, and he said, we're the caretakers of these airplanes. So my job is to keep this airplane in the shape it's in right now for the future generations. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm a retired airline pilot. I retired in '04, and from that point on, I've been on it every day to complete it. So we finished it up, and as I say, we flew it in April. But anybody that's restored an airplane, it really doesn't make any difference how big the airplane is. It's a huge job to restore an airplane. There's so many little details, and we just stayed after it, and we finally finished it. total labor of love.